Hi, I'm Yobachi Boswell with BlackPerspective.net. We're going to listen to a few various clips of President Obama's inauguration speech. Then I'll give a quick commentary after each clip, and then we'll go on and listen to the next one.
It is my great personal honor to present the 44th President of these United States, Barack Obama.
44 Americans have now taken the presidential oath. The words have been spoken during rising tides of prosperity and the still waters of peace. Yet, every so often, the oath is taken amidst gathering clouds and raging storms. At these moments, America has carried on not simply because of the skill or vision of those in high office, but because we, the people, have remained faithful to the ideals of our forebears and true to our founding documents. So it has been, so it must be with this generation of Americans.
So he talked about the oath being taken amidst rising clouds and gathering storms. And one of the most comparable times that a lot of us have liked to bring up recently was when Roosevelt became president in '33. It was between World War I and World War II, and immediately following, or still in the midst of, the Great Depression, a few years after Black Tuesday and the stock market crash. And he goes on to kind of bring up the points about it not being the skill and vision of people in high office that have gotten us past those moments. And this kind of goes along with something I've kind of tried to point out to people over the last few months, even before he was elected, and they were hoping he would be elected, particularly amongst black people who kind of feel, or maybe not necessarily feel, but there are certain segments who have sort of a notion that just by him winning the office that, saying things like King's dream has been fulfilled just because a black man has gotten into the office. And what we've got to kind of know and understand and recognize is that this is just another step in the continuation of the civil rights fight, or the struggle to gain equality, and that simply looking at Obama and expecting him to wave some sort of magic wand and get things done, whether it's racial or the economy, the war, any issue, whatever it may be, that folks cannot just look to him and put it on him that he's supposed to wave a magic wand and just make things happen. The presidency in this country is not a dictatorship. It's actually the Congress that makes laws. The president has a lot to do with which laws in the beginning passed, because obviously he has veto power. He has the power to corral the people in his party to go one way or another, possibly, and certain negotiations and things of that nature. But the president doesn't in and of himself pass any laws. And for things to get done, if you want to see things happen, if you want to see changes made, it's up to every one of us to put in the power, put in the work, and build the social political power base that will support whatever decisions we'd like to see made, and to bear pressure upon your local congressman, your senator, to vote for laws and vote for things in the direction that you want them to go. So it's really up to everybody to flex some political power to make things happen. If you're just looking at one guy and thinking he's just going to sprinkle some magic pixie dust and it's just going to happen just because the guy you wanted got in office, well, you're going to be sadly disappointed. If you're not going to support the agenda that you want, and support doesn't mean sitting on your couch saying I want this or I want that. Support is actually going out and doing something to support it, i.e. letter writing and putting pressure upon congressmen, putting together organizations or working in organizations to promote your agenda and things of that nature. If you're not going to do that, then things will just go on as they always have. The status quo will continue.
That we are in the midst of crisis is now well understood. Our nation is at war against a far-reaching network of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failure to make hard choices and prepare the nation for a new age.
I think failure to make hard choices and prepare our nation for a new age is a reference to Bush and his administration. Probably not only, I'm sure not only, because it's not been only his failures, but him primarily as the leader of the government and the bodies capable of making certain decisions. And that was one among many. While I was watching this live, I was just thinking, wonder how what he's thinking as he's sitting there a few feet away, hearing certain statements of that sort. But there are a number of others as well, so that's just an interesting thing to point out there.
Today, I say to you that the challenges we face are real. They are serious and they are many. They will not be met easily or in a short span of time. But know this, America, they will be met. On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity of purpose over conflict and discord. On this day, we come to proclaim an end to the petty grievances and false promises, the recriminations and worn-out dogmas that for far too long have strangled our politics. We remain a young nation, but in the words of Scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things.
To this issue of petty recriminations and worn-out dogmas that for too long have strangled our politics, I think this is an important concept to wrap our minds around and to kind of, I guess, take on as part of what we do if there is going to be any real moving forward, any real change. I've long grown tired of the extreme right and the extreme lefts basically always trying to make politics a fight to get their way, almost an ego fight, and also just kind of the notion that this putting forward the same old arguments in the same old way, not ever incorporating the other side's concerns, not taking a broader look at things and trying to come up with solutions that can actually work, things that can actually pass. What you're really basically saying is you want the status quo to continue, because if you constantly push only proposals that you know will lead to nothing but a drag-out, knock-down fight where nothing will come of it, you're basically saying you want what is to continue, because you're promoting a way that is not a way forward, and you're doing so because you just have to have your way. One of the main things that I kind of see this on is healthcare, and with some of the people, I definitely want the healthcare system changed to a great degree. I'm not part of the one side that ridiculously thinks that any type of government participation in healthcare is somehow some far-flung, ridiculous socialism. Look, we already have Medicare, Medicaid, and all these things. We already use things that if you want to classify in that way, that are somewhat socialistic in our medical practice. We have for decades, and they're some of the most popular things, and they work pretty well. At the same time, I don't think this wide open ideal of a healthcare system that is strictly socialized is the way either. Obviously, the only way forward is some combination of certain social aspects, certain governmental help aspects, and certain market aspects. And people who don't want to even open their eye or open their mind, people on one end who don't want to open their mind to any social parts being a part of the Medicare system, medical system, healthcare system, even though they already are. And then people on the other end who just want, it has to be straight socialized, so-called free medicine, and they don't want to hear anything else about the market being a part of it. Those are people, those are the same old tired dogmas that are going to get us nowhere. And what those people are basically saying is they want the status quo, because their extremist points of view just aren't going to actually pass. There's no way you're going to actually get those things through. The Clintons tried to do something back in '94. It's been 14 years, and the amount of people who are without health care is even greater than it was then. The health care system costs more now than it does then, and basically you're saying you want another 14 years of the same old same if you're not willing to get beyond the usual political dogmas and try to work on something greater. That's just one example, but we can go across the whole board of political issues, and it's the same way. Part 2 of Obama inauguration speech commentary continues as a second video. Also check out blackperspective.net.